So what I'm going to do now, just recording, yes. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to move some of these so that it fills some of the volume on this side. I will. Alright, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to modify, freeze my transformations. I'm not going to worry about scale. I just want translate and rotate frozen. Really, I don't have any rotations in there, but there we go. Now I'm going to select all of my ribs and my hip, not my spine. I'm not duplicating the spine. You don't have two spines. Unless you do and you're either some type of cyborg or you're a mutant. And I'm pretty sure if you have two spines, one of them is not going to be functional and you will live your life in pain. So I feel bad for you if you do. So Control G, edit, duplicate special. And what I'm going to duplicate special is, looks like it's going to be along X. So I'm already negative X. We're there. And then what I need to do is I need to rename these. So I have all of these. Don't want that or that. That's my spine. And then what we're going to do is search and replace names. And I'm going to search for RT underscore. And I'll replace it with LT underscore. So we can differentiate right and left. Then I'm going to take all of these out of their groups, freeze their transformations one more time, modify, freeze transformations. Once again, just translate and rotate, not scale. And there we go. Now, you probably know what we're going to do next. So I'm going to hide my locators for my rib for right now. And we're going to work on the spine, and then we're going to move from there. We're going to go to snap to point. First joint that we're going to create is our COG. COG underscore JNT. And I'm going to increase my display size for my joints. There we go. The next one that we're going to create is we're going to create our tailbone. So tailbone underscore JNT. And now we're going to deselect and we're going to create our spine. And I'm just going to allow them to connect and form that joint chain, and I probably need to change their size. So animation, joint size, so you can see it. There we go. Obviously these are bigger than this because of their radius, so just because I'm a stickler, I want all of my radii to be the same. So I'm going to select that joint chain. We're going to go to select hierarchy, and then I'm going to change the radii. And actually, what I could do is this. That's 0.5. We have that there. We want them, all of them to be 0.5. I can use what I was going to use for that script here. So what I'm going to do is I need this right now, just so I can get this part of the script here. Now, what we have to be cognizant of is how this is kind of set up. And I think part of me wants to bring up another script that I'm using for that, um, just so I'm not flubbing and I'm not forgetting some of the syntax. Scripts. And let's use this one. Nope. Oh, I already have a script here. Forgot about it. Okay. So essentially what we're doing is, I'm going to bring this in here. You have your command set attribute, and this is our selection that we have here for our array. This is the number of the object in the array. Right now I have I, so I'm going to have to switch that from I to obj. And this may be different than what I have. And then that should set it, unless I think it, now I'm going to explain. I don't think it's going to work, and I'll explain why in a second. Okay. So what's happening is, this is a for loop. So actually what I might be able to do is just this. And I don't exactly have an integer to do that with. So what? I'm exposing you to scripts. I might do some small stuff, but I'm just kind of give you some exposure. That's my only reason for doing this. So this is a for loop. So for all my objects in the selection, I'm changing the radii to that, and that's what that is. If I wanted to use what I had before, then I need to use a for each loop, I would need to use a different loop based upon an integer as a number of the object in the array. Array is just a group of objects, and that's what this means. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to select this hierarchy. And hit execute, and it changes all of them to 0.5. So it's just all nice and clean and neat. Neat is good. All right. So here I'm probably just going to add a prefix to these joints. So let's do this. Let's modify. Well, actually, I need to change them all so that my naming convention is correct. So SP01 underscore JNT. Two. 3. 4. 5. 6. 7. All right, so that we have that. Now, our spine is going to be parented to our COG, and our tailbone is going to be parented to our COG. And let's hit F8, show miscellaneous objects. And we can see I'm not worried about this for my spine. They need to all go in the same direction, including the terminating joint. So I'm just going to rotate this there. And if I'm a little bit off, I can look in the script editor to see where I rotated it to. And then I could just go in here and do this. Well, I will see you later. And then type in the number that I want, which would be -90, period. Because a lot of the stuff you do in Maya, you can see what you're doing in your script editor. Execute, and we're going to have to do that again. Execute, execute. There we go. So it's 90 degrees. It rotated 90 degrees, kept going until I got to the right one, just so it was where I wanted it. And it's still not exactly correct. And then my Y, my Z needs to be there. And we're going to rotate that 90 degrees as well. There we go. And for some reason these two are backwards, so let's fix that. There we go. By COG, we can go ahead and have that X go up and follow the length. And let's do this. And there we go. Cool. Now, I'm not worried about my tailbone at all. And my COG isn't going to rotate where it affects the rest of the joint. Well, it affects all the joints in the joint chain, but it's a little bit different than everything else. It's what everything's parented to. But the rotations in my spine are not dependent upon that, if that makes sense. All right, so what we're going to do is display. I'm going to have to go a little bit faster. And this is going to be a little bit tricky. Let's do the hips first. And reality is, I didn't really need these on this side because I'm going to mirror my joints over. So just want to let you know that, but we'll keep them. This is my RT hip J&T. And we'll use this naming convention of sorts. So RT lower rib 1, RT lower rib 01, v002, 03, and I'm going to cheat. I'm going to duplicate these. I'm going to snap that. I'm going to, oh, that's not completely snapped. Come on. There you go. Snap them to where I want them to go. And then I'm going to go ahead and select hierarchy, modify, search and replace names, and we're going to look for, in this case, my RTs are not uppercase. We'll fix that later. RT and replace with underscore, I'm sorry, no. We're going to look for lower and replace that with mid. And hold on. Joint 01. I am rushing, which is good and bad, but sometimes you just make mistakes because I'm not keeping my naming convention, and that is a mistake. Joint. There we go. Two, 03. I'm going to duplicate it, snap that up, snap that to that locator, snap it to that one, and then we're going to select these, modify, search and replace names, and we're looking for mid. We're replacing that with upper. One, two, and three. Cool. Now, we got one more. Duplicate that, move that up. We'll snap this, and we'll snap this one. And then we got what, upper chest here. Oh, this is supposed to be, oh, I'm sorry, we got lower chest. So we're looking for mid and replacing it with lower chest. And there we go. One. Modify, search and replace names. Oh, that is upper. There we go. All right. I'm going to find my script that I used earlier. I'm going to click on select hierarchy. And run the script so they're all the same. Joint radii has all the same size. And now we're going to parent these. So I'm not worried about my orients for these particular ribs because I'm not going to move them. They're not going to move individually. They're going to move because of the spine. Does everybody understand that? Spine is important, COG. The neck is important when we ever do that. But I'm going to parent these to their respective joints. Now to get these to mirror over, this needs to go to, this is going to go to my tailbone. That's important. Now to mirror these over, I'm going to select the first joint in their respective joint chains and mirror. So to mirror it, we're going to go to skeleton, mirror joints, option box. And what we're going to do is we're going to search for RT underscore and replace it with LT underscore. And let me see if this is upper or lowercase. They're all lowercase. Alright, so that's good. Except for this one. So I'm going to just change that right now. So it's all consistent. RT underscore, and we're going to replace it with a lowercase LT underscore. And we're going to mirror, let's talk about mirror. So if I just mirror it like this, I got to do one at a time. If I mirror it like this, that's going to give it backwards. So these are your different orientations. So that was XY, this is XZ, almost the same position, and this is YZ. It's opposite of your original one. Then we have we can mirror functions, our behavior or orientation. If I do orientation, it's going to try to mirror it, but it's going to be backwards. I can also do behavior, which is going to mirror it, but also on the opposite side. So depending upon what I want to do, I'm either going to have to change my orientation. I can set an orientation, but I'll have to go back and fix it because it's a mirror of the original one. So keep that in mind. Oops, let's undo. And let's go there. That, and that. And we have it. Let's go ahead and go File, Save Scene. Oops, Save Scene As. I should have versions. That was dumb.